All right, here's another quick video on how to change brake pads. In this case, this is going to be on a 2018 M2. It's the end of the season, so I'm taking out the race pads and putting back the OEM pads. There's a lot of videos out there on it, so I just wanted to do a quick summary on how to do it. In this particular case, on an M2, you want to get one of these pins that help push out, or it's actually not a pin. This is an attachment that goes on the outside that goes onto the head of the pin that's already there, already pushed it out. And there's one such pin on the on the back caliper. On the front calipers there are two. So it helps to have a tool like this, a hammer to help you get it out. And then once the pin is out, I don't know if I'll be able to do that with just one hand, but there's a spring here. There it is. It helps if you have two hands for this. Anyway, the pin is through like so, and the pin holds in place this spring, and the spring, the top of the spring and the bottom of the spring are being held in place by the pins like so. I was actually wrong. There are two pins, one on the bottom, one on the top. I don't know why I thought there was only one. Once you have both of those pins out, you'll be able to take the pads out, mark the pads left and right. In my case, I've already taken out the fronts. So it's a right front. This is the outer one, and this is the inner one. Before you do that, you would want to open your trunk and open your brake reservoir, take off the cap, because if the cap is not taken off and you are putting in pads that are thicker than the pads that you're removing, you are going to have to push back the calipers. So in this case, there's a caliper on the outside, there's a caliper on the inside, and if the thickness of the pad, I put it down here. Where did I put it? Oh, didn't take it out yet. If the thickness of the pad is smaller on the pad that's there today, and it is thinner than the pad you want to put in, you're going to have an issue without having to push back the caliper. So for that, you need to have the reservoir open. This doesn't take very long. It takes me about 15 minutes per wheel to change the pads. I only do it in the spring and in the fall. And the other thing I do, I have a screwdriver. This one is actually from my old Subaru that fits these the holes in the rotor. And what happens is, over time, these tend to get filled with the brake dust. And as you drive through rain or you wash in the car, the brake dust eventually hardens. So these veins won't be allowed to breathe quite as well if you don't get out the dust. I try to do it after every weekend, but it doesn't always happen. And I've already done it. And as you can tell, there's still brake dust coming out. This will stay in your garage floor, so pick it up or put a newspaper underneath it as you're cleaning it out. Once you have the pads out, you put in the new pads, put in the spring, the two pins, and then you're gonna need to use a hammer where the pin comes out on the outside. You make sure that you hammer the pin in until the head pops out like this. If you don't see the pin head and it still looks like this, that means that the pin's not all the way in. You want to make sure it's all the way in and the head is sticking out. That way you won't have an issue with the pads potentially coming out while you're driving. So if you got any questions about that, post it up and I'll try to get back to you and answer those.